Laws haven't been voted. Soldiers can't be paid. There is no money to buy rifles. What options do we have now? That was the dreary comments of Ukraine's prime minister as he resigned yesterday. His coalition in tatters. Ryan Chilcote joins us from London News Bureau. Mr. Chilcote understands Kiev's future options. What are they exactly, Ryan? What are the options for what remains of the Ukraine government?
Yeah, so this is a slightly complicated one. Basically, we had two things happen here. One is we had that ruling coalition collapse. To be honest, that might have been kind of orchestrated because the collapse of the ruling coalition clears the way for an early parliamentary election, which pretty much all of the politicians wanted.
Right.
The more worrisome thing here is the Ukrainian Prime Minister, Arseniy Yatsenyuk, that you were just talking about there, making that very emotional speech and saying that he's resigning and stepping down, even though he doesn't need to do that because technically he could stay in power until the new parliament comes in, which is months down the road. That's a bit worrisome.
Ryan, you were so good at this. And my observation is when Mr. Biden flies to Kiev, this is the guy he wants to speak to. Do we have a dialogue with Mr. Poroshenko, who's essentially a follow-on from the previous corruption?
We do, but everybody got very used to dealing with Arseniy Yatsenyuk, right? This is the guy that did the $17 billion aid deal. This is the guy that has been driving those reforms through that the IMF has been demanding. In fact, he was trying to drive one of those reforms through that he was unable to do that. That's why he said he was resigning. And so this might be indicative of a rift with President Poroshenko, which would be worrisome because ideologically these guys are pretty much on the same page and they're fighting a war right now in the east of the country. But I think the answer is, yeah, we got a little bit of a dialogue with Petro Poroshenko, but everybody's a little bit more comfortable when it comes to like being a technocrat with Arseniy Yatsenyuk.
Ryan, what sort of mandate does Mr. Poroshenko have, at least on the western side of the country right now?
He's got a pretty strong mandate, but, you know, when they had that revolution on the Maidan, everybody that backed that revolution and backed the ousting of the former president wanted two things. They wanted a new presidential election, which they got, and they wanted new parliamentary elections, which they haven't gotten, and which Mr. Poroshenko promised. So what he's trying to do here is consolidate his power by giving the people those early parliamentary elections that they were seeking for. Why? Because there are an awful lot of people still in the Ukrainian parliament that supported the ousted president, and many of the people that were on the Maidan, they see these people as basically evil, right? That having given permission to the police to shoot on them, and many people killed. So that's a little bit of what's going on here.
Ryan Chilcote, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate your perspective on Ukraine.